Hello, Go Mode Podcast Twitch channel. We are here with more Mentor Tournament 2025 races. This is week 2, still open assured. We have on the left Bobsled, mentored by TJ Maelstrom, facing off against KeithMcRocks, mentored by Tracy M. I'm Shinmaru here on comms. With me today is Cup Noodle. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing pretty good myself. Woke up early for some Link to the Past. It's a good way to start the day.
Yep. Prime rando hours as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, we have a open assured again for week 2. So all that means is your regular standard open mode, but you get a sword to start, so it's a little bit kinder. Open can definitely hide weapons for you for quite a while if you let it.
Yeah, if our runners are really lucky, they might get some early boots and just turn it into a Kaz Boots game.
Yeah. Also, this is a 1-0 race. Both racers did win last week, so one of them's hoping to stay undefeated.
And it looks like we're waiting for the race to get started. Both players, like you said, won their last race, so we might see some very interesting tricks and skips here today. They're both relatively new because they're on the Mentor tournament, but well, actually, it looks like the race is starting right now. Maybe. Yep, there we go. A little bit of a delay between both players, but... Or it looks like base might have started early and just restarting. That's good sportsmanship, I think.
Yeah, so the small key in Sank, 300 and Uncle. 300 bucks early is real nice. You need 100 to bottle vendor, gives you bomb money if bombs prove a little difficult to find.
Oh, what's Bob? Oh, Bobsled gonna do an early Houlihan?
Oh yeah, it's interesting. And we'll find 300s. I guess they'll have Zora money right away, or close to it.
Little show off here.
Yeah. Very friendly.
What is this room? What are we in right here? What's going on? He jumped in the water and now he's getting a bunch of rupees.
Yeah, this is the I think his name was Chris. Was it Chris Houlihan? I think this is the winner of a contest for, I think, Nintendo Power back in the day. Got his own room in A Link to the Past, where you just do like a pretty easy to execute glitch, and you find your way in that room with, I believe 225 rupees. So it's a kind of room you tend to turn to if you're pretty desperate for money.
Yeah, kind of
Zora
interesting.
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see it as an opening play, but if we do have something on Zora, it could pay off really early, especially if there's no other source of money early on.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I remember back in the day in one of those speed gaming open weeklies. So I've burned in my mind a seed where Zora was hard required, early flippers. So Houlihan, and no boots, so Houlihan was very difficult. And so everyone had to make their way to the 50 rupee cave, do some nice farming.
Oh no, that's way slower than Houlihan, but I guess if you gotta do it, you gotta do it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there probably wasn't any money anywhere other than Houlihan.
So. Oh, and then we got some money on the poultry too, it looks like.
Yeah, nice. Guessing it was probably a tier 2. I think Bobsled got hit a couple times. So yeah, some really friendly tree pulls this seed so far.
It looks like with KeithMcRocks doing Escape first, and we've got Bobsled doing a little running around at the beginning, but he's pulling into Kakariko right now. We're going to get a look and see what's down here as well.
And yeah, because of that small key in Sanka. That mushroom is in logic. So it's just something nice to note. So it's like if the small key's in Dark Cross, for example, it's locked by a lamp or something. Oh, small key's just right there, so mushroom could lead to something, maybe not. So that's a hook shot found in Blind's Hut in CAC. Oh, wow, friendly bush crabs as well. Holy crap! Wow.
Early bombs is, oh man, I love to see. The thing I hate the most is when I'm rolling into Kakariko and I've got no bombs and I have to make that decision. Do I go and get some of these chests and just hope one of them are bombs, or do I just go down and buy the bombs?
Yeah.
And it looks like Bobsled, it's gonna pay off for him. He did get the 3 bombs in the well.
Money also plentiful. Let's see. Wow, very plentiful.
Yeah.
That's maybe when you start to feel a little bad about the Houlihan.
Yeah.
Houlihan does get you a lot of early money, but it's also pretty big time sink to do. So you have to walk all the way over to useless ferry area.
Yeah, absolutely. But if he does need some supplies later on, some safety potions, anything like that, he'll have a few more rupees to work with.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Safeties are really good as a newer player. Having extra bottles, even a bug net can be a safety item.
Yep. Yeah, Seed I mentored last night. Very friendly in terms of offense and safeties. I think both Vinties are pretty happy with that last night.
Yeah, when I was first starting out, I would always love it when I would get like an early butter sword or like silver arrows.
Yeah, I think we had butter within like 20 minutes.
I mean, honestly, I'm still happy when I get an early butter sword, but
yeah. That is a Quake on race game. Don't know if you need it, but you're gonna go and get it.
Yeah, I feel like this early in the game, it's probably worth it to just go get it. The other option is wait until later, and this is also a very good option as long as you don't forget about it. Waiting until you do the well, this is more in like a entrance rando situations, getting to the dark world and just mirroring over there.
Mm-hmm.
I guess in this case, you're gonna have to do the race game no matter what, so yeah, might as well just go grab it right now. So do you like to scout the item on the maze game, or do you like to just go and get it? I see it's kind of 50-50 with a lot of players.
I'm pretty much a scout. I'm a scouter. Even in keys, I scout.
Yeah, I like to scout it. I feel like more often than not, it's something I don't want.
I didn't notice. I believe Keith scouted a lumberjack, and I don't believe Bobsled did. Where do you fall on that in an open seed?
I like the peace of mind of scouting lumberjack, so I usually do scout that one.
Yeah, I fall on the sweaty try-hard side who skips the lumberjack scout to save a few seconds and then cries when something's on lumberjack later. Cry about how unfair the game is being to me.
Bobsled seeing even more money on the ground. Does not need it though. With 1,250 rupees, he's set for life, I think.
Yeah, unfortunately not. Unfortunately, not scouting the bush crab also gonna be hurt him a little bit. He had no bombs left, and the bush crabs were spitting out the 8 bomb packs. So he's gonna have to hope there's bombs or a glove here in Mini. There's a lot of stuff here in Mini Moldorm Cave.
Flippers, yeah.
Wow.
Oh man.
Yeah, flipper, sword, lamp. Well, I know mentees love that early lamp.
Yeah, I had a seed last night even where the lamp was in a pendant turtle rock, and it
Oh,
was in the room right before the dark room.
of
The
course, the
fur
class.
the
That's
furthest
a
possible way you can go.
yeah, a classic.
And then you also have the classic lamp in the dark cross room I've seen more than a few times.
Yep. So yeah, just had a map check from bobsled. So looks like 3. Ooh, and the crab is giving out bombs. So, uh-oh.
Oh, oh.
Oh no! Oh no! Throwing a little early. Oh no! Unfortunate. A little too eager there.
That's fine. I'm sure there's nothing in Ice Rod Cave. So at this point, a lot of runners will just kind of take that. They'll just take that as an opportunity to go do some other checks, and then come back to Ice Rod Cave a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a lot more options to him right now, and while coming out of Mini Moldorm Cave, Ice Rod Cave's kind of just right there. It's pretty easy to go pick up. Now he's a lot farther from it. It's a lot more of a commitment just for one check.
Yeah, although yeah, this is some I think a heads up play by the mentor, TJ Maelstrom. I know TJ is a man who loves inverted, and if you play a lot of inverted, you have very heightened awareness of these whirlpools because getting around the light world inverted is terrible.
Yeah, so
Because,
speaking of, yeah, how long of a distance it was back to Ice Rod Cave, he shortened that significantly by using the whirlpools.
yes, yeah, yeah.
But
Knowing these like ways that kind of shorten the distance you have to traverse the world, like could be very very helpful. Very heads up mentoring from TJ.
and it
Yeah,
didn't pay off this time, but it's fine.
yeah, it's not going to be in the back of your mind anymore.
Yep, and you can jump down from here if you want to get some other checks, your swim checks. I believe he's probably gonna go get Zora at this point.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Guessing
think
that's
that
what Houlihan was for.
yeah, considering you have no pieces of Dark World access yet, no glove, no hammer, no pearl, you're probably just going to clean out everything in this area.
And it looks like even though both players kind of started out on different routes, we're going to see them converge a little bit right here. Because I imagine KeithMcRocks also going to be doing their swim checks as well.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
there's
there you
the
go.
Moon Pearl. Everyone that was in chat here talking about
Yeah,
going to
now you
Aga.
rush. Yeah, now you rush Aga. There you go. We got a pearl.
So
We can do things in Aga. We can do things in Dark World now.
So for anyone new to Link to the Past, normally in a lot of seeds, your access to the Dark World is either through the Gold Mitts, the Titan's Mitts, or the first mitts and the hammer. It lets you open up some portals that will take you to the Dark World. However, if you have a certain combination of items like the cape and the master sword, a light source, um, anything like that, in combination with the moon pearl, you don't need the moon pearl to get to the Dark World, but you need it to do a lot of things there.
Mhm.
But if you have the master sword or the cape and the light source and the moon pearl, you can go kill Aghanim in the castle tower to get access to Dark World as well. And without the hammer or either mitts, and they've done so many checks, it's looking like that's where these players are going to have to go. The only real big checks left, like the high density checks here that are left in the Light World, are going to be at Harshrala's house and in Eastern Palace. So Aga is looking very likely at this point.
Mhm.
And if it was there, they would have to get both of those items, either both gloves or the hammer and gloves. Zora gonna have
Yeah.
a piece of heart, so that's not gonna help them. But the seed is being relatively generous with health. So once they get to the Dark World, they will have not too terrible of a time.
Mhm. Yeah, I'll say once you get more experience in the past, you start trying to notice some patterns. Yeah, early flippers, early hookshot are one of those item combinations that has me thinking Aga early because uh, not a thing you think about that often, but you can use flippers and the hookshot to access entire west and south Dark World. Like you do not need a glove or a hammer to access those areas. I think that's the thing that kind of trips up a lot of people who are newer to the game.
Yeah, normally that hookshot path is blocked by something that you have to a peg that you have to hit down by the hammer, or a rock that you have to lift up with the glove. However, like you said, if you have the flippers, you can just jump in the water, swim around, and now you have access to that hookshot grab.
Mhm.
Oh, and bobsled hasn't done escape, so it looks like they may still be wanting to fish for their alternative Dark World access. And we got KeithMcRocks also using some teleporters here.
And yeah, with that small key, I mean, you can get all the way to the back of escape. So if you're gonna do Aga, it's worth it to go back there just in case. I think.
Yeah, especially we know they're not going to get mirror in the front half here, but if they do get mirror in the back half, they could theoretically just mirror back out and go straight to Aga.
Mm-hmm. I see it's on the mushroom. Just a piece of heart. And yeah, got the powder, so no real need to like try to scum the mushroom for.
Looks like KeithMcRocks doing a little consultation with their mentor right now, talking about what they're going to do next, and it looks like it's going to be a reset.
Yeah.
Not even a save and quit. They're just going to say we don't need the heart. We'll come back for it later.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I did blank on the map earlier, so that is going to be four items, Dark Cross plus Back of Escape combined, so even more worthwhile to go there.
Yeah, it's a lot more dense coming here after you get the lamp, and you know that the key is going to let you walk all the way there, so...
Mhm. Yeah, keep having already done Front of Escape, keep going to go straight to Dark Cross and the Back of Escape. Pops will be falling behind. Mushroom, probably an annoying item to get while you're here now instead of early in the game.
Yeah, especially if you're trying to last locate before you go to Aga. That's just another check you have to go out of your way to find. And yeah, it looks like KeithMcRocks taking some damage on purpose. Reason for that is I'm guessing they're going to do a death warp on their way back out to do Castle Tower. So if you don't have the mirror, your other option is taking some damage here. And then once you get the items from the back, you do your death warp and you're right back out front of the castle.
Yep.
So I'm guessing when they put this bomb down, they're probably going to get hit by it on purpose. They're going to touch these rats a few more times. Oh, you need to get one more rat, though.
Yes. Yeah, you gotta find the rat with the key. This rat needs to die. Oh, the last one. Oh. Going a heavy extermination run here.
And yeah, both players kind of converging on the same spot again. So it is still a pretty close race despite both players going in different directions at the beginning, kind of in the middle as well.
Okay. So, not too bad, boy. both that piece of heart and the full heart would have scared me there. Like, oh man, is this be a refill? Oh,
All that work.
is this good? Yeah, is this going to be Sankart? Probably take one more damage, and I'll probably just use rat for the last bit. Oh.
Looks like Bobsled gonna save and quit out. Not a huge time loss doing it this way either. And we'll actually get to see what the time difference is here because Keith McRocks died just around the same time that Bobsled save and quit. So we can kind of compare what the time difference is from when they go into Aga's tower. You can kind of see real time how much that saves doing that death warp.
Yeah. I would say, I think maybe if you save it quick, I might have thought about just doing Saha first.
It's tempting from a save and quit. I think me personally, if I didn't have either of the items, because you do need 2 items, you need both gloves or the gloves and the hammer. If I had one of the items, I would probably still fish around a little bit, but without both, it would be really looking like an Aga seed for me.
Yeah. Well, also, you never know if you're going to find something else that might help, like a mirror, for example.
Yeah.
That opens up a couple checks along the way.
Great use of Quake on these enemies.
Yep.
Those ball and chains have quite a lot of health if you don't have a tempered sword.
Mm-hmm. Okay, getting a little lost in the maze.
No shame in lighting the maze up with the lamp if you have it.
Oh, yeah.
This maze is one that a lot of people don't practice much because ideally you never really come here in most runs, so it's not something you think to practice going around the maze. But if you look, all that time that KeithMcRocks had over Bobsled, getting shaved down here, Bobsled already caught up in the maze just from that maze routing.
Mm-hmm.
But good work from KeithMcRocks dodging that first guard, hookshotting the second one, getting through that room really quickly. And they know exactly which guard to take out to get that key as well.
Yeah, well. Oh, yeah, that guard right there that Bobsled was having some trouble with. Very infamous pain. Loves to pop out of nowhere and
ruin your day.
Boot you into the pit. There you go. Yeah, nice use of hook shot to stun these guards. Red guards, very aggressive, very quick. They can definitely cut you on your health in a hurry.
Seems to be happening right now, actually. Oh, KeithMcRocks got to be a little careful here.
Yeah.
We've got no bottle, no safety items.
Yeah. There are a couple of pots in this room that have hearts.
Actually, both players are dangerously low on health right now. That's one of the things about green mail. You do take a lot more damage.
Yeah. So, yeah, very. Bobsled also very smartly taking out the other guard first before concentrating on the one in the middle that's easier to get.
Yeah, fortunately the seed gave them a little bit of health before having to go into Aga, so it's not entirely merciless. Bobsled thinking of getting the cape out.
Yeah, fortunately, no magic left, so can't really use it. But this Aga fight is a little manageable, so it's just one.
So I'm noticing KeithMcRocks hitting Aga from the side. There's usually a reason for that. So if you noticed when Aghanim shot out that blue beam, you have 6 little bubbles that come out when it bursts. So 4 of them are going to be at the inner cardinals, so like your diagonals, and then 2 are going to go up and down. So if you're standing to the side, it lets you avoid getting hit by that blue beam. So Bobsled, for example, on the top here, I think both players will be fine. They do have plenty of health. But if Bobsled tries to hit that blue beam from the top, they're going to usually a lot of times get hit by one of those spread out bubbles that come out afterwards.
Yeah, so those kind of little things that can make a fight like this just like a lot more manageable, a lot safer.
But both players doing a pretty good job here. And KeithMcRocks finishing up, and I believe Bobsled's probably just 1 or 2 hits away. And yeah, you're right, a lot of blue bubbles. Hagen not being nice. We've got a red crystal on Mire and Palace of Darkness, and we've got all 3 pendants in the Dark World. It's going to be Thieves' Town Swamp and a green pendant in Ice Palace.
Ew.
Yeah.
But Pendant Thieves is the one especially I really hate seeing.
I hate to see it. In most cases, will probably do Thieves' Town, even if it is a pendant dungeon. For Pendant Thieves' Town, though, it's kind of a toss-up whether if I just rob the front and go from there, or if I commit to the whole dungeon. It kind of depends on what the item layout looks like at the time.
Oh, Pendant Thieves fills me with deep disgust and loathing, but in
Absolutely.
an Agassi like this, I might do it just because coming back around to these, if it's the answer, oh, what a major pain.
Yeah, and yeah, their only access to the Dark World right now is through Hyrule Castle. So it's not ideal to leave something behind, especially in Village of Outcasts, where if you want to get back, you're gonna have to go all the way around, like we're seeing right here.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, when you get an Agassi like this, I'm just like extra thorough. Like, if there's a check I can do, I do it.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good mentality for something like a situation like this. Both players do, actually not both players. Bobsled has the cape. We're gonna see if he checks the cape ledge, and it looks like he's thinking about it. Gonna dodge those murder dactyls.
Yep. Fortunately, without a glove, okay, so nothing there. So even if
Knows he won't have to come back.
this is kind of a classic frustrating situation when you have a cape but no glove, and you see like a nice juicy item up there, but you can't get it yet.
The other glove.
Yep, and then the game gives you a glove at like Hype Cave or something, so you got to go all the way back around again. Real fun times.
So Bobsled, looks like both players actually, Bobsled and KeithMcRocks, gonna try their luck in Skullwood, see if they can get something out of here. Not a bad play. I like it. It's something I like to do a lot of the time too. The alternative is waiting until you have the Fire Rod and you're able to complete Skullwoods. Then you can kind of gamble that the items are going to be in the back, and you can hope to skip that entire front half if you're able to. But both players don't have a whole lot of items right now, and going into Skullwoods, not a bad play. Try to get those 2 items if they're able to.
Yeah, this room also one that it can be tough for newer runners. Those Gibdos. Easy for them to tag team you and whittle down your health in a hurry.
Yeah, a little trolly wallmaster sometimes, if you're not careful,
Yep.
going to drop down and grab you. There's one of our items, going to be 50 rupees.
Yep.
And KeithMcRocks does have the magic powder, so they can use that powder on this skull up at the top. Oh!
Ooh, unfortunate. Yeah, I think if Keith had just walked forward there, it would have been fine with the slashing motion. Stop his momentum.
Yeah, sometimes
Allowed the Gibdo to catch up.
yeah, sometimes the best way to avoid damage is to just not hit the enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Just walk on by. A little more health now, though, so shouldn't have too much trouble getting up here.
Yeah, it's kind of one of the things about this game. The more time you spend killing things, the less time you're spending moving forward. That's why it's often better to like not engage, try to avoid fights whenever possible.
Yep, just walk on by.
Oh.
It's going to be really important for KeithMcRocks to not die here.
Yes, I would actually think about, get your stuff. I would definitely think about taking a Death Warp in here. Yeah, very smart.
Yep, absolutely. Great move. Yeah, when you got
Refill
2
some of the
hearts
health.
in Village of Outcasts, that means you are pretty much 1 hit away from dying with Green Mail.
Oh,
And
good.
Bob's-
Elgo. Oh, great, great, your fire rod right there.
Yeah.
Marble Hut.
So now the question is Bobsled going to go back and do Skullwoods after this? Or just continue down through the Dark World? I believe it was just the 1 item. I may be mistaken, though. KeithMcRocks getting their fire rod as well. And we're going to see here in just a moment if Bobsled decides to do all of Thieves Town or if they're just going to take the front here and head out. Looks like he's going to commit.
Yeah.
Not a terrible decision. Thieves Town, I've said it a few times, but in my anecdotal experience, I don't back this up with any numbers or data or anything. But in my experience, Thieves Town and Pod are both very high-value dungeons. I get a lot out of them in most runs. So even if they're a pendant, I'm most likely to go ahead and finish them, or at least get all the items out of them if I can.
Mm-hmm. And it's worth noting that we did get the small key in front. So if you don't have the small key or the small key's locked in the big chest, that means much of the back except for Maiden Cell is locked by the hammer, logically. But now that you have the small key, you can find the hammer in the attic. You can find the hammer on blind, which is always a fun one.
Yeah,
or items
dungeon.
or items you find in those checks could also lead to the hammer. And looks like Keith is not going to commit.
So we'll see if this pays off or not for Keith. Could be just a bunch of junk in Thieves Town.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's a bunch of junk in a pendant dungeon, that's going to be big for Bobsled.
Yeah.
Keith deciding that the item density is south of the Village of Outcasts, going to get that dig game, going to get that Grove, Kid, Hype Cave.
Yep, and then Flippers also gets you back to Pod as well.
Yep. And Pod, as a newer player, is not something you really are thrilled about going into with this item loadout.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't. They do have the lamp, so they can get to the back in logic. But they
So
are bow locked for the right side.
that's a classic trap. Right in the back of the East Town, forgetting you have no glove. Happens to me all the time.
They go a long way around.
Sometimes they'll even throw in the fun wrinkle of remembering I have the glove for the first time through, and then forgetting I have the glove when I'm coming back. Or I don't have a glove when I'm coming back.
Almost forgetting the Grove check, but looks like they're turning around, grabbing it. Thinking about going back up to that room,
Yep.
or remembering no glove.
Yep.
I can see myself doing that as well, going around and then on the way back up, forgetting that I 10 seconds ago couldn't lift it up. It's just kind of a muscle memory thing. You're not used to going around like that.
Yep. Let's see what we get here. 20 rupees. Another 20. Heart. Blue mail. And bow. All right. Well.
Oh, Pod is looking a little better now for
Yes.
KeithMcRocks. And blind going very well for bobsled. That red shield helping a lot to block those little red bullets.
Yep.
And I believe that is our first boss down of the seed. It's a pendant, unfortunately, but
Yeah. And it looks like nothing in the back.
oh, actually, I do like this play from Keith, going and getting the Saharshala and the Eastern Palace instead of going to instead of going to Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, this is a decent hedge. Maybe hammer is available here, and that's the case. You don't have to double dip pod.
Oh no! What if we saw hammer and gloves here? Neither player has checked this yet.
Yeah. Oh, that feels really bad.
Great checks for Keith.
That feels awful. You could have done that before Aga. Oh, you could have been so much faster going through Dark World.
But better late than never. Still getting the boots is always a very, very welcome find. So 3 items in Eastern now, all of them in logic for Keith now that they have the bow. Bobsled also going to be finding the bow, so let's see if they decide to go ahead and knock out what they can in pod, or if they're going to do what Keith's done, which, as we see, is a pretty good play. We don't know what's in pod yet, so...
Yeah. And because you did Aga, it's pretty easy to get back to pod whenever you feel like.
Yeah. So Bobsled getting a pretty underwhelming hype cave until they run into the back here and get 2 pretty big items. Blue mail not required for anything, but it is going to make your run a lot more comfortable. And depending on when they head over to Eastern, which looks like right now they're going to get that other armor upgrade, so both players are going to have a much more comfortable time with a lot of these enemies. Enemies, bosses, dungeons, whatever you got.
Yeah, they're gonna find the boots is probably gonna feel a little bad, but again, like I said earlier, better late than never.
And again, both players within just a couple minutes of each other still.
Mhm.
Bobsled, having done Thieves Town, it didn't really pay off for them, but Keith may in the near future decide, hey, I never did the back of Thieves Town. That might be something I need to go and get. I forgot to count how many items were in the front, so we don't know how many Keith's missing right now from there.
I think it was 2 in the front. I believe the compass is in the big chest.
2 in the
If I'm not
front.
mis-
So
yeah.
yeah, 2 items in the front of Thieves Town. So Keith does know that they left 2 items behind. So not a high value target, but still something to think about. And it kind of eats away at you sometimes when you're like, man, what if there was something in there? So Bobsled getting the first boss of the race. It looks like Keith, though, is going to be getting the first crystal of the race. And good Igors from Keith. Bobsled hot on his trail right now.
Oh, there we
There is
go.
that glove. So I believe, I have a pretty good feeling Keith is on his way to Death Mountain. A very late glove. That's the first glove that these players are going to see, and it's in the back of a Thieves Town, or not Thieves Town, back of Eastern, which was behind Aga logic-wise, it looks like, unless we got the other glove in Agina's cave or something.
Or the other bow in Agina.
Yeah. Looks like Keith going to wisely grab the Bonk Rocks while he's here.
There's a one of the annoying aspects of beating Aga, completely changes the enemy layout in the overworld. Usually replaces them with a lot more aggressive enemies.
Yeah, you get some red guards running around. Not just more aggressive, but just more in general as well.
Mhm.
KeithMcRocks making their way up Death Mountain. They're going to have a lot of checks available to them, but not without the hammer or the mirror. They're not going to be able to get to... Okay, never mind.
Well.
Now they can do all of Death Mountain.
Nice hammer.
Old man, give me Keith access to Tower of Hera. That's going to be great. Tower of Hera is a crystal dungeon, so they'll be able to get their second boss completed here.
Oh, there's Bombos on top
of the ledge, yeah.
Yep, locked by the mirror. Oh, and our first bottle, first viewable bottle.
I think if I'm these players, I would go ahead and grab that bottle right now. It's not a required item for your playthrough, but it's a good safety item. It's worth having. And you have a pretty good feeling you're going to get some other bottles later on down the run, but this is a pretty quick commitment, especially if you can bomb jump back over the edge.
Yep.
I think it's a pretty good.
And even if you can't, I mean, you're going to the other side of the mountain anyway. It's pretty easy. Just save and quit, start at Old Man, and continue your journey from there. Yeah. that looked like a very wait, bomb jump. I have no idea how to do that kind of movement.
Oh yeah, Gilgamesh in chat does bring up a good point. You can go ahead and grab that bottle after Hera as well. That would be a really good time to take that also. You can do your whole loop around Death Mountain. You're gonna hammer peg over to Hera, finish up Hera, and then right on your way out, go ahead and grab that bottle. The reason it wouldn't work for me is because I would forget about the bottle. Oh, and bobsled getting something that KeithMcRocks forgot about, the lumberjack. Actually, KeithMcRocks did not forget about it. They checked lumberjack, so they know that this is not required.
Yeah. Yeah, this is I mean, if you're going out there and you didn't check lumberjack earlier, this is the ideal time to do it. Like, oh yeah, you beat Naga, you got boots. You're going up the mountain anyway.
Might as well stop here, yeah. We got the money on the mountain here, it looks like.
Not a lot else. So nice sand cart.
Good bomb jump from KeithMcRocks. That's gonna get them all the way up here to the top without having to go back around.
Pops up getting their hammer.
Keith looking to scout the
island.
island.
Nice, nice sword.
Yep, that's something you're gonna want to come back for.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I mean, Swamp Palace is a pendant. There's no guarantee you're getting that mirror.
That is true.
Especially if you find the book. And that's your desert access.
Right, KeithMcRocks grabbing that big key. Let's see if they go ahead with the Hera pot or if they're gonna walk up the dungeon the regular way. There is item 1. I'm actually not familiar with this setup. Okay, never mind. Going to the door.
Yeah, this looks like some on the fly red pot training.
This is one of the really nice things about the mentor tournament is you can get this real-time advice on what to do, how to get these skips and tricks going. So we're not part of this conversation here, but KeithMcRocks right now talking to their mentors. Looks like they're explaining how to do this Herapot clip. So basically what it is you're going to use a bomb to knock yourself into the tile right under the pot, and then you use the hook shot to kind of adjust yourself and get yourself right on the perfect tile to go like that. Make sure to hit left and then jump down the pot. Look at that. So even though it's... Oh, go ahead.
I was saying, yeah, it was very important. Make sure you turn left before you do that.
And yeah, even though it did take a little bit of time to kind of sit back and go over the strategy, it still probably saved about the amount of time that it would have taken to do this the other way. Oh,
Yeah. Oh, nice shovel, by the way.
yes, there's the second item. The shovel in and of itself, not too great, but it does open up another check. And now Keith knows that they've gotten both items, so he can go straight up to Moldorm at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Unless he wants like a map or a compass from this chest here, we'll see.
Also, yeah, wants to fluff that collection rating.
Oh, and going through the bumper. Look at that. Beautiful bumper dash. KeithMcRocks deciding to use the hammer on Moldorm. Great choice. The hammer will do tempered sword damage, which lowers this boss down to 3 hits. With the Master Sword, you can also do it in 3 hits. You just have to make sure to use the spin attacks. Bobsled also would like one of those compasses.
So we got both Spiral Cave and Spike Cave left. I assume Spike Cave's probably going to get left for sometime down the road.
There's never anything in Spike Cave. You don't have to go there. Just ignore it forever. That's not real advice, though.
And yeah, it's the realist advice.
It is the realist advice, yeah. There's that mirror for Keith.
Oh, very. There you go. Well, you're glad to see it because you're at least getting Tempered Sword before GT.
Yep, so yeah, Keith knows where the Tempered Sword is, does not have access to it yet without the other boots, but that will be in the back of their mind. And that is also getting that mirror will open Swamp with the hook shot, the flippers, technically the hammer as well, but I think what we've seen from both of these players, I don't think we're going to have to worry about the hammer in Swamp.
Yes. And going straight to Pod, another completable crystal dungeon.
Yep, getting that hammer is going to get you the crystal from Pod, and then from Pod you'll be able to kind of just swing back down around to Swamp as well. And with the mirror, actually swimming down from Pod will let them get that island as well. I don't know if Keith scouted the island. I think Bobsled did. I forget what was up there though. I don't think it was anything important.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, so earlier when I said nothing's ever in Spike Cave, this is you get the real-time feedback on why that is bad advice. Now this is going to be interesting though because Bobsled looks like they are going to go and check the Spiral Cave as well. So
mate, we'll see. I probably would. You can get finished. It gives you doing the myth checks gives you an excuse to get back to Spiral.
And Bobsled having some trouble with these dead rocks. It happens to the best of us. You hate to see it.
Yeah, yeah, that is a pretty rough spot for myths. There's so much more density. Well, I would not be surprised to see Keith go for, say, Pendant Swamp before doing Spike Cave, but we'll see. I mean,
if it's me, if I see Pendant Swamp or Spike Cave, I'm doing Pendant Swamp.
Yeah.
And that's why I would be losing to Bobsled right now, because Bobsled made the right call to go to Spike Cave and get those mitts.
Oh, but nope. Looks like that mirror is going to be left by the wayside a little longer.
Yep, they have no way to get back to the Light World Death Mountain. They could save and quit, He's being pretty thorough with Death Mountain, so maybe he's thinking I'm gonna do the Dark World Death Mountain check, hope for the mirror there, and then come back. Where was Mirror? Mirror was in Spiral Cave.
Yeah. We just say it. We say it in chat. We might not mean mirror if the book is available, but that's also like a free sword you're missing.
And Bobsled also getting the flute. This is a really big break for Bobsled. Bobsled was playing a couple minutes behind for most of the seeds so far. But these items that they're getting right now, and these are going to be in a spot that I don't think Keith is going to come to for a long time.
Okay.
Got a Quake Turtle Rock.
We do have the medallion, that Quake medallion.
So far we are not locked out on medallions, but we still got to see what's in Meyer.
Okay, that's Samaria.
Samaria, so that's actually also going to open up Turtle Rock for Bobsled as well.
And Ether.
Bobsled does not have the mirror, so they cannot go and get the extra sword. But opening up Turtle Rock, oh, maybe not. Looks like they're gonna dip out.
Yeah, I would imagine they're going to activate that flute. Probably go to Meyer.
Yeah, Meyer's not a terrible idea right now. You've got Samaria, you've got your light source, you've got all the good stuff. And it is a red crystal, so
yeah,
it is a little bit higher priority than some other stuff. And with the hammer, the bow, everything, Bobsled can actually knock out both of those red crystal dungeons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, looks like, I mean, depending on what the Meyer medallion is, the one thing we're missing for no mode now seems to be Ice Rod, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Ice Rod is the only thing that we do not know the location of right now. And Bobsled's still gonna get a tempered sword.
That is actually really, really nice for Bobsled.
It is all coming together for him right now. And even more money for Bobsled.
Oh.
So yeah, both of these players actually are going to have 2 required items that they missed in 2 semi-orphaned locations. Not so much orphaned for Bobsled because they will still need to go up Death Mountain to get to Turtle Rock, and that would be a great time to check Spiral Cave. But KeithMcRocks left the Titan's Mitts in the Spike Cave, and that is really out of the way, especially with how many checks they have open right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out for both of these players.
Yep.
Because Bobsled could be looking for that mirror for a while.
I'm also finally going to be doing that mushroom check, getting that piece of heart. Oh, yeah, so looks like we're going to get a King's Tomb check here as well.
Yep, hopping in the lake, going across.
Another bottle in King's Tomb.
And yeah, that is another good point. The mitts are going to lock out Keith from a lot more than the mirror is going to lock out Bobsled. So Keith's going to get funneled a little bit earlier than Bobsled does. Bobsled does still have everything they need to beat the Palace of Darkness, so it looks like that's where he's going to go next. Skull Woods is completable for both of these players. We don't know what opens up Mire, but it is assumed that Mire is completable for Bobsled right now. Both players can, or actually, Bobsled can enter Turtle Rock. And neither player can enter the Desert Palace yet. So we might see Desert Palace potentially as a final dungeon. Probably not, though. I think both of these players are going to get that missing item here relatively soon, hopefully. Either the mirror for Bobsled or the flute for Keith. KeithMcRocks finishing up Palace of Darkness. Getting a compass for their troubles, and more importantly, a crystal. That will be crystal number 3 for Keith, and Bobsled on his way to getting his second crystal in pod. Oh, sorry, no, third. They both did Tower of Hera. KeithMcRocks choosing the next dungeon. See where they're going next.
It's feeling like a swamp play.
Going to the
maybe
swamp.
K45, maybe K45 in a swamp.
Yeah, that's true. Bombos. No, they don't have a book, so no Bombos tablet. I'm gonna swing up around Cave 45 real quick. Left it behind earlier because no mirror, but now they can just scroll over here and grab it real quick. It's just a single check, but you don't want to leave it orphaned for too long if you're in the area.
Mm-hmm.
They can also do their dig check here as well, so this is actually a pretty good play.
Mm-hmm. Okay, just a blue boomerang in K45.
Decides he doesn't want it.
Oh, looks like they're gonna check that the sick kid check and the bat, I think.
Yep,
Yeah.
Sick Kid and Bat's a pretty good thing to do right now because we know that there's a sword there. So KeithMcRocks going to get rewarded. Meanwhile, Bobsled coming around the back half of Palace of Darkness. Not a whole lot of new stuff down there. Nothing really, nothing super important in pod except for that crystal, but you do got to get it.
Mm-hmm.
And then also so far up here towards Kakariko, Skull Woods is another decent option for Keith as well right now. They won't find any items there, but it's a good opportunity to kind of just get it out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Especially now that you have that tempered sword.
That's probably what he is going to do. Unfortunately, gotta enter the long way. No mitts.
Yep.
Oh, Bob said, taking down Helma.
And as far as I know, Keith has not used their red potion yet, so they will have a little bit of safety for Moth. But with red mail and that many hearts, I think either player should be fine in the back of Skullwoods. It's unfortunate that they don't have a book right now. I do love to see a ped check when we head up to this area, but it is what it is. Keith already got the item up above, so they're just going to go straight to the back of Skull Woods. Oh, no key, so he will have to go around and do this back part first. So it looks like Bobsled missing an item here from Pod. Gonna go collect it before they move on. Good play, in my opinion. And Keith making their way over to Moth. Gonna get a full magic there. Very nice. And needs to kill this the mummy for their last key. And with red mail, a red potion, and 6 hearts, they should be fine on Moth here. I don't think we'll see too much trouble.
Also did see Keith briefly charge a sword. Just keep something to keep in mind. You do not want to use tempered spins on Moth because it registers as gold sword damage, to which the Moth is immune because it's the same. I think it's the same damage that spikes do. And if you ever fought Moth hitting the spikes, it takes no damage. Very frustrating. Just do those tempered slashes against the Moth.
And it looks like we've got an ether for Misery Meyer. Bobsled has everything they need to do it.
Yeah, we're just in Ice Rod for no mode. We're confirmed Ice Rod for no mode now.
So yeah, once we figure out where that ice rod is, we will have all the information we need to complete the puzzle. But both players are still missing a couple items that they're not sure of the location of. Bobsled still needing the mirror on top of the ice rod, and Keith needing the couple things. Canis Maria doesn't know that he needs ether yet, but he will need ether, and the mitts from the Spike Cave.
This is looking like maybe catfish or.
Oh no.
Oh no, and also Graveyard Ledge. Graveyard Ledge too. That's right. They have mirror. They're the one with the mirror. This is also Graveyard Ledge. A very out of the way check. People love to skip it because it's bad.
Well, we'll
Myself
see what's in
included.
Graveyard Ledge right here.
Yep.
Got a
Just
few
bombs, so.
bombs. Keith, I mean, I don't blame him for being reluctant to go up to spikes. It's not a check I like to do, but it's getting more and more likely that it's looking like that's where you're gonna have to go.
Yeah. I will say, routing-wise, Spike K does kind of pair decently with these checks because when you defeated Aga and you have the mirror, saving and quitting Dark World, which you... Oh, there's Ice Rod. Okay, you're in no mode. Saving and quitting in the Dark World when you have the mirror, which you do when you have... Most of the time when you do Spike Cave, it's going to spit you out on top of Pyramid, which leaves you in like decent position to go up and collect these checks along with Catfish after.
Yeah, if you're gonna check Catfish, now's the time to do it.
So that's something I like to do if I done Aga and I have just these crappy checks. It's just kind of pair them all that way. Spike Cave into this stuff.
So we're just waiting for Bobsled to head over to the Spiral Cave to get that mirror before they're in go mode. But he does have a few other dungeons he can complete right now.
Mm-hmm.
Can get into Turtle Rock, so that might be something he wants to do. Going on your way to Turtle Rock could run you by the Spiral Cave, so that's Bobsled's chance to get that before they end up just bypassing it completely. And then Bobsled could also decide to run through to Skull Woods as well, just to get that dungeon out of the way. Like Bobsled gonna be slashing for these eyeballs with the cape. I prefer to use the boots and dash, but either way works just fine, especially if you can get some good spins in. But Vitreous gonna go down without too much of a problem. And it looks like Keith is going to be diving Swamp Palace. Yeah, actually, the book could be in Swamp, which would make Desert completable for Keith. That would be a very interesting, a very interesting change. But Keith needs more than just Desert access, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And Bobsled getting that Ice Rod. Looks like he's a little more confident in going into Turtle Rock now. The big question is, will he do Spiral Cave either before or after Turtle Rock, or at all? Maybe he might forget to go back there entirely.
Well, he's doing it after Turtle Rock. It's going to be long after since he can't. I mean, yep. Oh. So it's looking like he's definitely thinking Turtle Rock, so I don't think Spiral Cave's in the cards. Because he was looking very eager to go into Dark World, where I'm sure being hasted on it, you need to go into Dark World at the top of Turtle Rock so you can actually open it.
Yep. And while you're up here in the light world, is he going to go ahead and... Oh, he sees the butter sword up there too. He really wants that that mirror now. But yeah, so like reading in chat, doing Turtle Rock before the Swamp Dip. Absolutely, I would absolutely do this Turtle Rock over a Swamp Dip. Big reason is because Turtle Rock's completable for Bobsled, and it's a crystal. So even though it's one less check, it does take a little bit more time. It is something you're going to have to do, so there's no reason not to do it before going in the swamp. And yeah, that is a good point. Bob cannot dive swamp right now without the mirror. So that actually is kind of a good thing for Bob, because that's one less temptation in the available checks that you're going to be going to. So we've got Keith. Keith has the mirror and is looking for the gloves. Bob has the gloves and is looking for the mirror. But because of how that works, Keith having the mirror has swamp entirely open to him. So this is a whole dungeon that he is having to think about doing, considering going into, where that's not even a consideration for bobsled.
Yeah, like Mr. Angry Pants is saying in chat, yeah, the best thing for Keith right now is that book being in GT and unavailable, so that bobsled has to go get the mirror in a very unfortunate check for him. Oh yeah, otherwise the mirror locked, yes, although I think we've checked everything. Yeah, we checked everything aside from the rest of the swamp. So yeah, being in here too. I guess technically if it's on PED, it's mirror locked as well.
That's true. We haven't done a ped check. And yeah, bobsled is starting to run out of checks. I don't think they did the Smith chain. Great Samaria there on the second try. So yeah, Smith chain might be a little bit appetizing to bobsled. But without the mirror, it's very tedious. So actually, maybe not. Bobsled still hasn't gotten the catfish. It's a lot of orphan checks, and it all depends on which ones he is going to prioritize. And yeah, Meyer access is locked behind Hookshot Cave, so this is a little bit of a weird puzzle for Keith right now. Not knowing where those mitts are, locking him out of a lot of the game right now. So Keith finishing up Swamp, not finding anything here, unfortunately. We know that the Ice Rod is in Misery Mire. We know that the mirror is in the Spiral Cave. We know that the gloves are in the Spike Cave. I believe, where was Cane of Samaria? Was Cane of Samaria in the Hookshot Cave as well?
Yes.
So yeah, Samaria in Hookshot Cave, Flute in the Super Bunny Cave, and neither player has access to it, but both players have seen it, the gold sword on the floating island.
Mhm.
Keith heading over to the Bombos tablet. Looks like he's going to check the Desert Ledge and Agina's Cave, most likely.
Nothing on the ledge.
Maybe we'll see a book at Agina. Maybe we were supposed to do Desert really early. Just like right away, right off the bat. We had the early lamp. Well, we had the gloves in the Dark World, though, so maybe not. See if Bobsled takes the safety save or if they're just gonna...
Yeah, I think at this point you do the safety door. Yeah. Take the safety door.
Oh, and is Keith going up to Spike Cave? I don't think there's anything else here that he can get. This might be a huge break for him. It's really the only thing up here.
Okay, half magic.
Half magic on Laser Bridge. You'll love to see a great comfort item. I always love to get half magic.
Is something Keith probably not getting this seed.
Yeah, I think when Keith comes to Turtle Rock, he's going to be in go mode.
Oh yeah, that Bombos as well, getting that, yeah.
Not needed, but Keith doesn't necessarily know that yet.
Yep.
Keith going through the Spike Cave. He's gonna love what he sees here.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Is that a fairy or?
Oh no!
I didn't see if he has a fairy or not. Yeah, that's
he's a fairy.
Okay.
Oh yes.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think that's something you want to do unless you know you have a fairy. There are those mitts.
It's like he's having a conversation with his mentor. Okay, what do we do now? We just got the mitts. The world is open to us right now. Dark World Death Mountain would be a very, very fortunate play for Keith. Looks like...
Yeah, again, like I said earlier, Dark World plus Mirror, you save and quit, you're starting up the pyramid, so... See what they decide to do after mirroring back in the Light World. They mirror bomb.
Back to the Dark World. And then back to the Light World again. And yeah, it seems like Keith is going to go ahead and go to the Dark World Death Mountain. As we know, that is also the correct play.
Yeah.
They're going to get a lot of very, very welcome items here. But that search for the gloves did give Bobsled a huge advantage in dungeon completion. He's not go mode yet because he still can't get to desert. But once he figures out where that mirror is, he's going to be in a great spot. Especially if he knocks out Skull Woods right now. Then he knows that once he finds the item, he can just go into desert, grab the big key, go straight to the back. It'll be really quick. Looks like he is... Well, he can't do a dive.
This is looking like Pyramid Fairy, I think.
Yeah, Pyramid Fairy's a good play here, getting the bomb.
Yeah, so he is definitely on a timer. It's only a matter of time, I think, before Keith finds Ice Rod. It's just on the path.
In the midst, yep. And one of the nice things about the Aga Seed, Bobsled is not going to be able to take advantage of this, unfortunately, but opening up Aga gives you an interesting route with the Big Bomb. You can actually mirror from outside of the bomb shop, run up through the Light World into the Castle Tower, and that Aga portal will just drop you right in front of the pyramid. Saves a couple seconds, but it's a nice little perk of doing Aga if you have the mirror.
Okay, so you have Quake. They have Quake to get into, be able to get in a TR. And they're gonna find the other medallion here, so they know they'll be able to get into all the medallion dungeons.
All right, so Keith is just missing the ice rod for go mode.
And it looks like they're gonna go ahead and pick up that sword.
Yep. Bobsled potentially going to Catfish. I think he already got the graveyard ledge.
No, he didn't. He's looking for mirror, so graveyard ledge isn't even
You're right.
consideration for it.
Couldn't have got the graveyard ledge. You're right.
Yeah, it's just not even a consideration for him. Alright, it's like save and quit, gonna activate flute. And I presume it's be Mire and Desert next.
Yeah, absolutely. Great doubling up on the dungeons. If Bobsled doesn't find that mirror soon, that dungeon advantage that he has is it's starting to run out here, because once Keith activates the flute, does Mire and Desert, all that's left is Turtle Rock, and finishing Turtle Rock last has the advantage of dropping you off right in front of Ganon's tower. So it's starting to get a little dangerous here for Bobsled.
Yeah, I will say the one thing is that the dungeons that Bob has left are pretty quick to do.
Yeah,
Like
just
Skull, you
Skullwoods
just
and
go straight to the
Desert.
back. Desert, you just get the big key, you're gone.
And it looks like he's gonna knock out Skullwoods right now as well.
Yeah, it's just that Bob has just like a lot of options other than that are probably more attractive than going to Spiral Cave, which you've abandoned multiple times already.
Yeah. KeithMcRocks does need the ice rod, so he is going to be a little thorough with these checks. He's going to go into Mire Shed. He's going to probably do the checkerboard cave. I believe he already scouted the desert ledge when he was down here last time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so okay, well, that's silvers that Keith won't be getting.
Yeah, I don't think Keith has any reason to head over to Hammer Pegs at this point, because we know that he's going to find the ice rod in Mire here. So, yeah, pretty much every check that is not Turtle Rock is going to be off the table for Keith at this point. Bobsled going to do the Smith Chain, it looks like.
Not sure.
He's debating whether on saving and quitting or fluting. Maybe it was a mentor discussion moment, talking about where they're going next. What do they want to do? Do you want to do the purple chest, or do you want to go somewhere else at this point?
Mm-hmm.
And there's the big key. Keith can not head out of here because he still doesn't know where the ice rod is. So he's going to stick it out in desert. That will be another advantage that Bobsled has. Bobsled realizing he's not checked Agina's cave, so he's got to go pick up those 3 bombs.
Yeah.
And with the book in the desert, That would make the mirror required.
Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate for bobsled. Yeah, this chat that spiral gave it just probably be a hard last location.
Yeah, at this point, it's so out of the way. Without the mirror, you basically have to go all... I mean, even with the mirror, you have to go all the way around Death Mountain to get to it. It's so far out of the way. But it looks like he's going up to Death Mountain. I can't think of any other checks here besides Spiral Cave, so... He was trying to decide which way he wanted to go up. Alright, so with Bobsled going up to the top of Death Mountain here, he's going to swing around a Spiral Cave, and now the clock is ticking for Keith. This is going to be a pretty close race. Bobsled will still have to do Desert and Skull Woods, but they are significantly faster than Turtle Rock, even Go Mode Turtle Rock. Keith is going to have to be very quick. And he's still looking for that ice rod. I believe there was another item in Desert, so Keith's going to try to scout that out. Oh no, Keith also does need Meyer, so I think Bobsled might be a little bit ahead here in this race. And there's the mirror. Bobsled gonna head out of here and go, I imagine, straight for Desert Palace. Ice Rod and Misery Mire, I believe, was in the spike room with the Stolfos. Oh, Big Key. No, that was the Ice Rod. Big Key, I forget where the Big Key was.
I feel like the big key was early-ish too, but
So Bobsled is Go Mode. And Keith about to be.
she's being a little rude here, disappearing right before Keith can get him with the sword beams.
We've got the Big Key. He can go ahead and head out now. That's all he needs from this dungeon. He needs nothing else in this game. He's got the silvers. He's got the red mail. He's got half magic. He knows where the butter sword is. I don't know if he's going to go get it. I think at this point it's a little bit too out of the way, but if you're not comfortable with Tempered Sword Ganon, you do have silvers. It's pretty good. It also does make your climb a little easier, so it is kind of up to the player if you want to go and grab that. I think it's a little too out of the way, but I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't be surprised either if he decides he wants to go and pick that up on his way to GT, especially because you know it's there.
Okay, so yeah, I thought the big key was early in here, so there you go. It's at least a very quick dungeon for Keith.
Yep, so with Bobsled's going to have to go do Skull Woods. Keith is going to have to go do Turtle Rock. It is a Go Mode Turtle Rock, and it will put him out in front of GT. So there's going to be a little bit of a time save there for Keith, but he does have a longer dungeon ahead of him than Bobsled does.
Yeah.
Either way, it's going to be very close, and I think this race is going to come down to the GT climb.
Very nice silvers Lambo for Bobsled.
Keith, never having hit the crystal switch, is going to be able to skip that switch on the previous room. Bobsled making a beeline for Skullwoods.
Alright, Keith going for the slash strats.
One nice thing about the slash strats is if you slash fast enough, your magic meter won't drain. It won't have the opportunity to.
It does drain a little bit, it just drains a lot slower.
And Bobsled going straight to the back.
Yep. Is there one key? And still have to get the Gibdo. Actually, yeah, okay, yeah. Let's go back down, get that bottom.
Yeah, half magic, fire's not going to be a problem here.
Yep.
And all that's left for Keith is Turtle Rock. All that's left for Bobsled is Ganon's Tower. I think at this point it's pretty safe to say that Bobsled's going to be heading into GT ahead of Keith.
Especially with this stop for potions.
Yeah,
Obviously, yeah, nice to have if you're not feeling as confident. Especially with half magic, not without half magic, not knowing if you're gonna get it or not. Good to have those backups.
Yeah, and Go Mode Turtle Rock, he might not get it. He may be fishing for silvers, so we may still see Keith do Laser Bridge. Especially with the Mirror Shield, it's a pretty quick set of checks. And it looks like Bobsled also going to top up on the potions, so Keith not losing any time there. We got some GT big key guesses in chat here. We got a 14, 3, a 7. 9 is kind of my go-to. I feel like 9's a pretty interesting GT.
I'll throw out a 12, why not? Oops, oh, nice dead rock.
The Dead Rocks not playing along today.
Yeah, the dead rock's got some money on Keith.
And this is a Go Mode Turtle Rock. If I remember correctly, I believe the big key was to the right.
Yeah, I think it was a big key and small key, and this was the map, maybe? No, I don't know what a map looks like.
Well, even more valuable than a map. 1 green rupee. right, and bobsled going into GT with a nice, cozy, comfortable head start. He's refilled his bottles with blue potions, so he's going to have some safeties there. It's looking pretty good for him, but it all depends on the route he takes. He could lose some time there, and the climb can pose a potential problem for some players as well. So, middle finger for the first check. And we've got a 2 with a piece of heart. A 3 with a small key. 4 is going to be a red rupee. Another red rupee for 5. A lot of arrows in this room. I think arrows were their stun prize.
Yeah.
Like 6 for an extra blue bottle for a little extra safety for the Ganon GT climb. And Keith grabbing those safety fairies. 7 is going to be the map. We got 2 more before we get to my number. I'm thinking it's going to be 9. I like 9. The randomizer room is I see it here a lot. We've got 8. 8 is the big key. And he's going to empty out the rest of these to see what he's got. He still needs 1 more key before he can go upstairs. Looks like he's going to mirror out and probably just grab it from the Hope room up here. Oh, maybe not. Maybe. Oh,
yeah.
I think that might have been an accidental mirror hit.
Yeah, and yeah, like I'm saying that there should be one in there.
There's
Yeah.
the key. Okay, so yeah, I got the key, and now he can start the climb. Keith getting into the dark room on Turtle Rock, so he's getting closer and closer to catching up to Bobsled in GT.
Your shield coming in handy, blocking the beams from the mimics.
Oh, not from the Beamos, though. But
Yeah.
not going to be too much of a problem. Gets a nice fairy drop from one of the mimics as well, so he's going to go into this gauntlet with full health. Keith does still need a small key from the laser bridge, so
I guess
is going to
it
get the half magic.
Yeah, okay. I forgot where the key actually was.
It looks like it's going to be that last chest down there, unless it was in the big chest and he skipped it on the way down. But I think he stole the key. So, oh no, it is.
No, it actually is a
no.
3% seed. Oh, I forgot. Wasn't even thinking about this when Bobsled was like searching for. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that when Bobsled was like searching for Booker Mirror in here.
Yeah, I was counting the keys. I neglected to look and see at what Keith was doing in Turtle Rock. It looks like he did skip the big chest, and it's gonna come back and bite him, it looks like.
Yeah, this is there's a 3% seed in Among runners is a 3% chance that both lava chest and the big chest have small keys. This is not very often. Most people will take the risk that that laser bridge will have a small key instead of nothing. Because most of the time it's not going to bite you.
So that is a huge break for bobsled, and that it's incredibly painful for Keith. You do not like to have to go all the way back out here. It's only about a minute of time loss, but it feels like so much more when it's happening to you. But he did get the half magic out of it. It's not all bad. So he's going to be able to head down to Trinex now. Nothing left on the bridge for him. Looks like bobsled getting those safety fairies. Gonna skip the full magic heart on the bottom right, but going into Moldorm. And we've got Keith heading up to Trinex. Moldorm down. All that's left for bobsled is going to be the Aga 2 and Ganon fight. And of course the validation chest, but it looks like he's going to skip it this time. He knows where all of his comfort items are. He knows there's nothing he needs there. He knows where the gold sword is. He has half magic. He has red mail. He's got the cape if he wants to use it for Ganon. He's got 3 blue potions right now.
And silvers.
And silvers, yep, exactly. And a good double to start out Aga 2. Trinex going down for Keith.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, that was interesting.
That was some math right there. Calculate that trajectory.
Yeah. So Keith heading over to GT. I'm gonna see which route they take. We know the big key is in the randomizer room, so a full left dive is gonna be the fastest way to get there. Right, you've got potions. Go ahead and use them. Bobsled gonna fill up on health.
Yeah, I'll
And it looks
say
like we're in phase 3 of the Ganon fight, so he shouldn't have too much trouble from this point. He's got the
yeah.
silvers, so all he's got to do is light that torch.
I will say it probably wouldn't have been a bad idea to cape up. Or so if you're not super confident in getting like a 1-on-1 or something like that, no shame in using the cape, get more slashes, avoid the damage. You got plenty of magic, plenty of safeties.
Oop, doesn't get the torch glitch, unfortunately, but with silvers and half magic, it shouldn't be a big problem.
Yep.
And he should be just about done here. There it is, last hit on Ganon, so as long as Bobsled can make it over this bridge, that's going to be a GG.
Yeah, get your GG chat for bobsled.
GG Bobsled.
Cross
It
the
was
finish
getting a
line.
little, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, it's like crossing the finish line. The official race time, not GG time of 1:49:46.
Yeah, so not a bad time at all, especially with that hunt. The hunts for the mirror, which we now know was required since that mirror did end up being in Desert Palace. So Bobsled wasn't going to just happen upon the book to get that access. Did have to go into the Spike Cave to find it. Did get it in time, and it looks like Keith's gonna be starting their GT climb as well. So yeah, it was very interesting to see in that race how everything kind of split up, especially with one player having the gold mitts, the other player having the mirror. They both had entirely different routes opened up to them. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah. It was kind of a near last location for both, I think. Bobsled just had Ice Palace and Purple Chest left. Otherwise, yeah, like we're saying, I'm not sure Bobsled really had anything, or not Bobsled, or Keith really had anything left other than.
Hello,
So, yeah,
congratulations.
Hello.
Yep,
GG's
thank you.
to Bobsled, winner of today's race. How are you feeling?
I'm yeah, ecstatic. That was great. That was a good run. That's like my second best time. So
Nice.
Oh, very nice.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
yeah.
Yeah, there were a couple interesting moments we noticed throughout the race. I don't know if you realized it at the time, but when you got those Titan's mitts in the Spike Cave, what were you feeling around that point there?
So we had just talked about it. We were like, so do we want to do Spike or do we want to do Spiral? And I was sitting there and I was just like, well, I like doing Spike because it's like right in front of me and I'm gonna have to come back probably anyway. But we didn't think we were gonna have to come back. Like we didn't. There's no way that Spike and Spiral have an item, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, randomizer would never do that. It's just silly talk.
Yeah, so that caught me off guard. I think, funny enough, with the items being in both those, I picked the right one.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of let me pick a more linear path, I imagine. But that's hard to say because maybe he went a different route entirely. So.
Well, so
I'm
actually, that's the reason I brought it up. So I recommend going and watching the VOD later because, like you mentioned, if you kind of asked yourself, do I want to do Spike or Spiral? Well, Keith did Spiral and skipped Spike. So we got to see what happened when both players, one of you with the Titan's mitts and the other one with the mirror, but neither of you having that other item. So your routes diverged quite a bit in the middle of the race there.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's really cool, actually.
So
Yes.
a question I was wondering, well, so what influenced the decision to go back to Spiral when you did? 'Cause obviously, you didn't really have much left at that point. You had, I think, Purple
Yeah,
Chest. It seemed like you're ready to go into
it
Ice
was
Palace.
purple chest and ice. Yeah, so I was getting ready to go to ice. He was like, "I'll leave it up to you. These are like the three things we got." And you're right. You like exactly what you said. We had spiral left. We had purple chest, and we had ice. We were kind of like the three things I was looking at. And I walked up the ice, and I was like, "Wait." He's like, "What?" I was like, "Is this a pendant?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "I ain't going in here." And so,
Okay, so the influence was pendant bad. I
yeah,
can
yeah,
respect it. I
yeah. I
can
was like,
respect.
yeah, I was like, I just don't feel like for me, Ice Dungeon's always a fire issue. I was like, I have all the fire in the world. Like, I just don't feel like it's gonna have what I want in here.
Mhm.
And so I left. It's like I made it. Like that was just like a very whimsical decision. Like, you know what? I'm gonna go back up the mountain and do this check that we left there.
Yeah, sometimes that pays off. It definitely did today.
Yes, yeah, that was a. When we picked it, I just laughed. I was like, because normally I would have gotten that before going to Spike. My route is normally spiral first. So, yeah, that was just a very much just just decided with the rando. Just went with the
Yeah,
rando.
yeah, Today you just needed them both.
Yeah. There was a couple other items that were very um like the flute was an interesting spot.
Yeah, getting the flute and Kena Samaria in the Dark World after you got those mitts, that was one of the big things that gave you such a break against Keith, is even though he had the mirror and he was able to do a couple of those other checks, one
Yeah.
of the things that kind of hurt him was he couldn't get to the Dark World Death Mountain, and having the mirror actually put Swamp Palace in logic. So that was just kind of a red herring for Keith to go down, unfortunately for him.
I see. Yes. Yes. Ooh, I'm definitely gonna go back and watch what he did because that sounds like it's an entirely different run.
Yeah.
How was the beginning of the run? It was like the first 40 or so minutes. They must have been very similar then.
Yes.
There were a couple differences, but you were kind of both weaving in and out of each other's routes, but the overall checks, like you were converging in the same spots, pretty much. So the beginning of the game, you both were doing AGA around the same time.
Okay.
Oh yeah, at
Both
what
getting
point were you
both getting
thinking?
the both getting those sad boots at the same time.
Yeah, you both got
Yes.
the boots, yeah, kind of relatively close to each other. At what point did you decide, like, hey, this is an AGA seed, I'm gonna go ahead and do AGA? Like, were you trying to
Oh,
last
super.
or...
No, super early we decided on that. It was honestly shortly after the Cape, which was like almost immediately. He started talking about how like the logic here is kind of pointing us that way, and then when we picked up the lantern, we were just like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took me away from wanting to go over to Eastern entirely. And I was just like, well, if I don't have any other way to get to Dark World, I was just like, I'm gonna do so much backtracking. I was like, if I don't get lucky here with a couple items, so we went with the more secure route, I guess you could say. A little slower than if we took the more lucky route and went over to Sahasrahla, because I did that after.
Yeah, and both of you did as well, so...
Yeah, that's interesting actually.
And yeah, we've got
Because
Keith into
because
Ganon
when
now.
my opener, which I decided to change today, is actually normally bombs to Sahasrahla. And
Oh,
the
that was
first
a...
item I picked up was bombs.
That was another thing I meant to ask. So, I think it was you and not Keith. You
Oh,
went and
yeah.
did
Speaking of
Ganon.
Keith, I just want to keep dropping it in again. So Gonna be finishing up the seed soon.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah, Keith already in the third phase. So this should be pretty quick. Didn't end up getting the silvers, but with Butter Sword, I don't think it's gonna be too terrible. Silvers ending up being in the it was hammer pegs, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, unfortunate.
no.
Yeah. Yeah, charging up the sword, and didn't
Gotta
give a
take
lot of
the-
movement options. Got nicked by the bat.
Yep, gotta take the Walk of Shame back. We'll see if he knows about the ferry down here, or if he just decides to skip it. No, just gonna go ahead and go back up. Gotta get that good time. Still got plenty of potions. You guys got a blue potion during the GT climb, so...
Yeah, I restocked just to find one, so that was kind of nice.
Yeah. Yeah, Butter Sword gonna make quick work of those first two phases. And we're gonna get one more shot at this. The nice thing about restocking on potions before Ganon is he doesn't make you scared to use the cape during this phase. Got some good slashes for Keith. Making good use of that fire rod.
Yep. So nice.
Ooh,
that was a little,
very
that was
dangerous.
a little scary.
Watch out for the nerves here. And I wasn't counting, but I think he's within 1 or 2 slashes now. I actually don't have the player audio, so it's really hard for me to tell if he hits him without seeing that little bump that you get when you knock him over. Should be any moment. Good at being patient there. And there it is. Keith gonna finish up the Ganon fight at 2:02, and probably, I'm guessing, roughly about 10 or 12 seconds. We'll see here for sure in a minute. (2:02:16-ish).
Yeah, it looks like they probably hit the race time, but a little late. It looked like 2:02:14 when he crossed over. But the official race time, GT time says 2:02:17. Yeah, get your GTs in chat for Keith. A nice comparison. Got to see both styles of Ganon fight here, silvers and silverless.
Absolutely. So yeah, for the going back to the beginning of your run, we noticed, I think it was you that did the Houlihan room.
Yep.
So what was your thinking for that? Were you trying to get some extra Zora money off the bat, or?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I
Gotcha.
saw, which I very much we didn't need, but yes,
Yeah.
that was.
Yeah, about 700 rupees by the end of Kakariko.
Yeah, it was something else actually.
GG Keith, welcome in. Welcome to the post game
GG's, Keith.
interview.
Thanks. GG's, Bob. Boy, do
So,
I have
yeah,
a lot of questions.
Yeah, how did you think your run went? How did you do?
I mean, I liked the run as far as, going through it. There was just a lot of feels bad choices and moments, but that's kind of, a lot of we're looking for something to keep us going moments. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we were saying earlier, it's always a little unfortunate when you have a choice. Oh, should I do Spiral or should I do Spike Cave? And of course, the answer is do 'em both.
yeah. So we made a couple of choices that felt good, but yeah, there was a lot of other things.
So one of the most important items you got in your run, and I don't know if you recognized it at the time, was the mirror in the Spiral Cave.
Mm.
Did that stand out in particular to you during your run?
Yeah, because that opened up a good amount of things at the time. Because we were down to we didn't have too many things at the time, so it opened up a lot of stuff. So
Yeah, so the reason that was such a big point in the run is because you both were kind of following relatively similar paths at the very beginning. Once you guys finished Aga and you got those mitts from Eastern, you both climbed up Death Mountain. You went to you went to Spiral Cave and got the mirror. And Bobsled went to Spike Cave and got the Titan's mitts. And from that point, both of your routes just completely split up for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I
So
didn't
it was very
get
interesting to watch.
mirror until quite a bit later.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
So,
that
yeah.
was quite a bit.
It was for a while. It was really hard to tell which of you was actually ahead, and it all kind of came down to like who was gonna check that other check first. Because Bobsled was waiting on mirror for go mode, and then you were waiting on those mitts for. The mitts weren't go mode, but they were what would put you in go mode.
Yeah. Well, the mirror really helped me get into Swamp, so that's cool.
Yeah.
There's no way it could be, and then, yeah, no, it was nothing. That felt great. So,
I almost made a decision that would have made our race like probably within minutes. I was standing outside of Ice Palace and just decided, you know what, I'm gonna go check Spiral Cave, and just left because it was a pendant. But I couldn't get into Swamp, so I had no reason to go that direction. So
yeah,
it was yeah, it was
well,
very,
just so you know, there was
yeah.
nothing. There was 0 in there. So
Yeah, if Swamp was open to us earlier, there's like
Yeah.
I'm pretty known for going in there. I like going in there, so. Oh, wow, yeah, that's
yeah, that
a
would have
one.
cut off a little bit there, but eventually it led me to have to go do Spiral. So
Man, somebody does both of those checks though, then
Yeah.
that
Yes.
run is very different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Aw.
yeah, I had the thought of it, but without knowing, because of the medallion, but not knowing which one we needed, I was like, we'll find out at some point in time. But
Yeah, thinking back when like TJ asked me, he's like, "Do you want to do Spike or Spiral?" And I was like, "Oh, I want to do Spike." He's like, "Oh, that's good because if you do Spike, it's easier to go back down the mountain and go do Spiral right after." And then I just didn't do that.
yeah,
I just left because I was like, "Oh, look, I got mitts. Like I'm out of here." So
I mean, that is an understandable reaction. There's been times where I'll get an item and I had a whole plan lined up for what I was gonna do, and I get the item and it just tunnel visions me to something else entirely. So,
yeah, it even makes sense that there would be a second item there because, as you said, like before that, our checks were incredibly limited. There was not really a lot left going on.
Yeah, you were both kind of getting routed in that exact same direction. Death Mountain was kind of the only real thing open to you guys at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
between the only other things that I didn't go was like Smith Chain, but we never had to. That was like the next place to go, and never had to do it. But
We did the first part of it, but I did not bring the chest back.
I was really
Yeah.
happy, Meyer, because we were going through a lot of plays of where that ice rod was going to be, and really happy to have found it in Meyer because we were really thinking it was on Ped, but
Yeah.
it was getting down there, or like in the back into Deep Sound.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
The front of it, that was
yeah.
great. Two shields in the front was awesome.
Yes, yeah. And you didn't get silvers.
No, where was Silvers?
Right.
Do we know?
Silver
do.
More pegs.
It's oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was gonna say it said Dark World, so I was like, well, I only had about 3 things. I think that it probably could have been at that point, maybe 2. So
Yeah, I don't blame you for not checking that one. It was never really kind of where you were. Like you weren't really in a situation to grab them.
no, because we had already done. We already did the town, and then the hammer came later. So, and I never had zero reason to go back there because unless we had to go back in there, and that was but we didn't have to. So it never really came up again. We kind of went. The only time we went back was when we went after getting Fire Rod and went back to get Mothula and then head, from there. But never a reason to go back down.
Yeah, absolutely.
But by that point, it was once we were
Why
in the
did I
tower,
go
we
over
saw it
there?
was done. Yo, I don't know. Was that the only you did? Did you do that and you did the Smith?
I think I went. Well, yeah, well, I did the first part. Smith. I actually think I did that while I did the bottle.
Yeah, I guess.
I didn't get the bottle till later.
We got the bottle in pod, maybe.
Yeah,
I think
it was-
the first bottle for both of you was in Spec Rock.
Oh,
it was definitely not right away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
right.
it was not. It's
Yeah,
the stupid path to the glove.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah,
because I went back for and got Sick Kid with like all the other like shovel and
Oh.
K45 and.
I did it when I got mitts.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't. I just hit straight at that point. We had that in the boots, so we just went that chain of bonk rocks up into the mountain. So,
Yeah, looks like we are wrapping up for now.
Yeah.
Congratulations, runners. Do you have anything else you'd like to say to your captive audience before we head out?
no, thanks for the restream. Thanks for putting this on. It's been a very big learning, and I've learned a ton. Thanks to Tracy. It's been fun. We've had a lot of good conversation. So, but yeah, overall, it's just I've learned a ton in just 2 weeks coming in from pretty much nothing. So it's been good.
Awesome.
Yeah. I just want to say to anybody who's watching this who's never done this before, because I had never. My friend Varu was just like, "Hey, I'm playing some tournament. You want to come play?" And so I joined, and it's been a super fun time. Yeah, mentoring or having a mentor has been very interesting. Like I've played the game before, but I'd never done any glitches or anything like that, or like really invested time into making like my routing efficient. And it's been a lot more fun than I thought it was gonna be. So yeah. Go out of your
Awesome.
comfort zone and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit of competition to push you to make those improvements a little faster.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, thanks for the race. Congratulations, Bobsled, on your victory. Good luck next week as well to both
Yeah.
of you.
Thank you. Thanks for commentating in the stream. Very cool.
Yep, and also thank you to Haiku for tracking both players. It's not an easy feat when you're watching two streams back to back, especially when you guys were as divided as you were.
He's
So
got two trackers open. Like,
yeah,
wow.
yeah, we appreciate the trackers, especially when we've got one person doing double duty on it.
That's really cool.
But yeah, there will be another race today at 3 p.m. Eastern, which is in about a little under 2 hours, or noon Pacific if you're on the West Coast, or, you know, somewhere in between if you're somewhere else. Or sometime this evening. Time zones are a weird thing. Let's say an hour and 45 minutes. So yeah, thanks for watching, have a good one, and see you all later.